necessarily break them, you take a different, slightly
You,
askew
you
view
should
of
have
that.
been out to the field at 9:30 this morning.
What did I miss?
Well, I went into one of the buildings where someone had it was a Japanese young man, and he had developed this little airplane, and I was really curious to see it fly. But it's in a building with the stanchions so that you couldn't go up and touch it. You know, it's a lightweight airplane. And I said, well, I want to see this fly. And I went and I started moving the stanchions out of the way, and other people helped me, and we made a path. I said, bring it on outside, let's fly it. And he's looking at me like this. And I said, no, really, I mean, you know, here's Burt Rutan, who he's heard about, and he's ordering him to take his airplane outside. So he got his helpers, and they drug this thing out and put it between the buildings. And I turned around and looked, and I said, there's some grass right here. Is that, you know, go ahead and take off. He said, oh, no, that would be illegal. And I said, well, you know, I've been to Japan back in 1970, and I spent quite a bit in Japan just last year. And I've noticed that your culture, the Japanese people don't break the law. You know, they wouldn't even think about that. Whereas Americans sometimes will break the law and worry and wait and worry about whether we'll be punished for it later. This concept of you don't ask for permission, you later ask for forgiveness, and that kind of a process is so foreign to people in Japan and other countries. I found it in Russia. They absolutely wouldn't break the law. You know, this was back in '93 when I was there for a DARPA program, because when they see people disappear and know that they probably went to Siberia, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, I said, don't worry about whether you're doing something illegal. You know, one thing you could do is knowing that you'll be fined for this, is to go ahead and break the law and fly this airplane for me, and you might get fined money. And I turned to one of the people in this gathering audience of you know how it is at Oshkosh. And I said to one guy, and I said, listen, would you offer to pay $5 of his fine to see this thing fly right now? He says, absolutely. And I looked around, and a large percentage of this, yeah, here's my $5. And one guy committed. He said, I will pay his entire fine if he's fined for breaking the law and flying right here. Now, this guy is really confused now, you know. He didn't fly, and the reason he didn't fly is that this is a weight shift airplane, and usually a weight shift airplane operates so slow that you could take off real quick and no big deal. But he admitted to me something he didn't want to tell me in the building when he was describing its capabilities, and that is this particular weight shift ultralight takes 1,000 feet to get off the ground. Yeah. So now we didn't have a way to convince him to go ahead and break the law, but we had quite a discussion about that over a period of not just 2 minutes, but it must have been, gosh, 15 minutes or so, and I used it as an opportunity to talk to him about the fact that if you follow the rules to the letter, you will probably not have the courage to have a breakthrough and to get something out of your creative mind that's useful. The people that don't have the courage to not worry about regulations, they're the people that end up having breakthroughs and inventing new things. If a person is really afraid and he asks what are all the regulations, and he makes sure that he stays well within them, he doesn't have that opportunity to go out and demonstrate something that's new and breakthrough. So that was the lesson I was trying to teach him, and he was afraid. He was afraid that if he did what Burt Rutan was suggesting, that he might be arrested. And I says, yes, you might go to jail, but I said, I think the extradition treaty between Japan and America is probably such that you will be able to go to Tokyo and see your family later. And I said this with a straight face, and he didn't know how to figure me. And of course, all the people around were laughing, But we had such a fun job on that. I wish you had been there with your video camera.
That would have been great to see.
And I think there might be a video of it, so watch YouTube. It might show up.